I mean, if you're gonna name a show Around the Table, like the table is a very big part of it. You gotta deliver on the table. If we would've been Hi, welcome to Entertainment Weekly's Around the Table. I'm Derek Lawrence. I'm here with the cast and director of Zombieland Double Tap. I have director Ruben Fleischer, stars Emma Stone, Abigail Breslin, Woody Harrelson, Jesse Eisenberg. Thanks so much for being here today.
Thank you.
If we would have been at this exact table 10 years ago and we would have said 10 years later we're going to be back talking about a Zombieland sequel, like what would have been your reaction to that?
I'd be like, damn, that's really long. That's a really long time.
That's a really far time away.
I would have said not likely.
I would have said I hope so, but I don't think I would have believed it would have ever happened. So without being too schmaltzy, this really was a dream come true to be able to get these guys back together.
Oh, the schmaltz on this one.
Not the time and place
Good
for that.
Lord, Ruben. You're happy to be back. It's so lame.
It's cloying.
Is this something you guys would like often talk about? Like Ruben, like you've worked with a lot of them like since the first film. Like, so was this something like you guys would talk about periodically? Or
well, we've been, in full disclosure, we've been working on this for a long time. It took a while to get going. I think there was an original draft like immediately after the movie came out, but it just wasn't the right kind of follow-up, and so we put that on the shelf. We all went off in our different directions. I was lucky enough to get to work with Jesse again on 30 Minutes or Less, and with Emma on Gangster Squad, and with Woody on Venom, and Abigail, we are going to make that next movie together.
Never call me.
But then about 5 years ago, I was like, yeah, that Zombieland, that was pretty fun. We should probably try and figure out how to do that again. And so we just started working on scripts, and it took a while to get it right, but luckily we did.
Were you guys all pretty eager, like once Ruben calls and says like, oh, I think we finally got the right idea, were you guys pretty eager to kind of come back to this?
I think everyone was very excited about the idea of getting to all be together again because we had such a great time on the first one. We all kind of kept in touch in between, like we knew each other pretty well by that point. But the script had to really come together in a way that made a lot of sense and wasn't just like, oh, we're going and having fun together and making a movie while we do it. So Paul and Rhett were really great because we were able to, I think, collaborate and talk with them a lot about what exactly, we were trying to achieve with the second movie, which was really just the same sort of spirit and humor and love that the first one had in it. And so that's, I think, what made us the most eager, was getting the script really where it needed to be.
Yeah. Is it nice, obviously you guys all went off for 10 years and did diverse different like types of projects, but is it nice just sometimes to come back and like crack jokes and like kill zombies and like have a lot of fun? Is that like obviously part of the appeal too?
I can't speak for everyone here, but I will say for me, the funnest possible experience.
Yeah. Yeah, you can't speak for everybody.
Clearly can't speak.
Yeah.
So did you guys no fun?
So much fun.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, the only like caveat I would say is that we were like just hoping, we just were trying to make sure that the movie was going to be great, and like, so I would say like we were also a little cautious, because like the movie is so beloved. It's this strange thing, like Woody and I know because we did other movies like together. Like this movie is so strangely beloved. People tell me in like airports, I'm finally showing my kids Zombieland this year when they get old, like when they're, and like it's like it transcends just like a kind of popular movie. So we were cautious to make sure that it's as great as the first one, that it has like the same amount of heart and all the strange mixture of things that the first one had.
And definitely it is the trailer is almost as great as the first trailer.
Yeah, absolutely.
The trailer's almost as great as the first film.
There you go.
It's shorter.
Yeah, it is.
It is
Much shorter, yeah. What was it like when you guys finally got back on set? Did it kind of feel natural just slipping right back into it? I mean, was anyone rusty with trying to kill the zombies? Like, what was it? What was that part of it like?
It was kind of fun because for the first day, I just thought it would be good to just kill zombies. So that's what we did. Is the opening title sequence was our first day. So it's just everybody. Yeah.
It was the first day.
It was the first day, and so
I said this in London, and they said it wasn't the first day, but
no, I
it was.
promise
It was
you
not.
it
It
was.
was the
See, it
Christmas
was.
day. It was definitely in the
It was
Oval
the first
Office.
day. It was the first day.
Oh, apparently I'm wrong.
It was a week
I
later.
think Oval
That's
Office
right,
was the
it
first
was.
day.
It was the first day.
No, it was the end of the first week. I remember
that's
because
exactly
I
right.
left.
Really?
Yeah.
The next day.
I remembered it as the first day.
Well, I guess
The
I
first
didn't
day he was
have such a
paying
great
attention,
day.
yeah.
In the White House.
Thank you.
Yeah,
Thank
you're
you.
You guys, there's an
You're welcome.
unwritten rule when you're doing an interview and
Agreed.
your director says something, you just kind of nod.
No, I think I still feel like the
Such a
schedule
good
on my
play.
phone. I'm going to look it up later. And I'm
Okay.
gonna prove.
Well, it wasn't the first day, but it was a lot of fun getting everyone back together. And it's amazing just how the chemistry was just there. I mean, as you can see, just before them together, like there's just that same familial
That spark, that magic.
bond.
You know?
Yeah, je ne sais quoi.
Turns out you can catch lightning in a bunch of bottles.
Ruben, for you, like obviously too, this movie was in 2009, the original, and there's been a lot of more zombie content since then. Like it's weird that like The Walking Dead didn't even like exist yet, the TV show. What was it like trying to like keep the zombie stuff fresh here, and since we've seen so much since the last film?
We just tried to do our own thing, honestly. I don't watch much of the other stuff that's out there, so we just tried to be as true to the original as possible, and hopefully that will distinguish it from everything else, because I think there's just a really specific tone to Zombieland that, and so we just try to harness that same tone.
Is there more zombie comedy stuff? Like Walking Dead's not comedy.
No,
right?
there
I
was.
mean,
Netflix
it's
did a
not
show
funny.
with Drew Barrymore and Timothy Olyphant.
Oh,
Santa
yeah, I
Clarita
did the
Diet.
pilot for that,
Yeah,
actually.
there.
Yeah.
Oh, see,
Yeah, Santa
He didn't call
Clarita
you for that
Diet.
one,
Yeah,
yeah.
It's but that was
that was a different tone for
different
sure,
tone
but it
for
was a
sure.
comedy. Yeah.
Buried the lead on that answer, didn't you?
Yeah.
Wow.
I didn't really watch
I
anything
don't really watch
else.
that stuff except for this one I directed.
Direct. Yeah.
That is actually a zombie comedy.
I
Ruben.
wouldn't call it a zombie comedy.
A zom-com.
Yeah.
Little
But yeah,
Zomcom.
yeah.
And you went
But
and
you
did
guys are my
that.
first loves, I promise.
Yeah, whatever,
didn't mean
Ruben.
anything.
Oh,
That feels like the kind
it
of
was
cheating.
one episode.
You guys are the inspiration. That's right.
Yeah.
He was just trying to get back to
Yeah.
that. Emma and Jesse, like for your characters, they kind of at the end of the first movie, they kind of get together. Obviously at the end. So what's like a relationship like in the zombie apocalypse? Like I'm sure there's a lot of the same problems like that any relationship would have, but I'm sure there's like some unique ones too. So what can you say about kind of that dynamic here in the second one?
I don't know. I mean, it hasn't really. We're all living in one place, and we've kind of settled down. I think that for Wichita, she still is that sort of roaming. Doesn't want to really be tied to anywhere. So I think that she's really struggling at the beginning of the movie with the fact that they've been in a relationship for 10 years and that they all have lived in this one place for that long. So I guess maybe it's more personality than zombie land.
Yeah, but also we have like the thing like that because we're stuck together, we don't have anybody else to compare each other to.
Right.
So we're not realizing how great we are for each other every day, and so you end up you take the person for granted, and then you become annoyed with them, and then in the case of like this movie, she kind of runs off when she gets scared that the relationship's going, that it's too committed.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Abigail and Woody, like the Little Rock Tallahassee relationship's obviously not romantic, but there's like a father-daughter kind of bond that's kind of developed there. So kind of what's the state of that relationship? Like obviously we know from the trailer, like somewhat the plot's going to get kicked off by Little Rock running off, but what's the state of them two?
It's not unlike my own children, where I think they're the cat's meow, and they think they just want to kick me to the curb, type of thing.
This is
That's the relationship.
This is table therapy.
Yeah.
We think you're
Not
the
in
cat's
real
meow.
To be fair,
Not
you're
in
so
real
annoying
life.
and like hella lame.
Not in
Yeah.
Dad.
Yeah,
Ugh,
like Major
God.
L to the forehead.
It's like, please stop.
Yeah. And it's like, just wait outside for us.
It's like, drop me off 2 blocks away.
Abigail, how about for you? How would you kind of describe where they're at?
I mean, I think for me, it was kind of funny because I had not that like far in the past gone through the same kind of phase of being like very. Me personally, I was much more cliche than Little Rock is. I was like, Mom, like, I hate you. And so it felt like I was just revisiting my teen years, which any chance I can get to be a little bit over dramatic, I jump right back.
No.
Oh my God, don't forget me.
One of the funny aspects of Double Tap is the Tallahassee and Columbus doppelgangers with Luke Wilson and Thomas Middleditch. Like, kind of how fun was that for you guys to do that? And were you kind of working with them too to kind of mimic each other a bit?
The burden was on them, I would
That
say.
was on
Yeah, that was on them.
Because we were the first ones.
Yeah.
But boy, was that fun. That was a fun
Yeah,
section of.
unbelievable. Yeah, yeah. Woody you pretty much you wrote a long scene for you and Luke.
Yeah, we just kept
about Elvis.
writing and writing. And
Like an Elvis competition, which
just
is
trying
really
to
fun.
add stuff, you know.
Yeah.
As you do, you want to be in the movie more. So.
Yeah, right, ultimately,
Right,
yeah.
yeah.
And Thomas, who plays like my doppelganger, is like one of the best improvisers in the world. Maybe you know, he like improvises at Carnegie Hall with
Oh,
his
you
partner
were
Ben
toe to
Schwartz.
toe improvising.
That's what I was going to get to. That, yeah.
And that's how I realized, so am I.
Yeah, but like I guess I don't have to lean on it as much.
Yeah, for me, I mean, just watching them go back and forth, it was such a joy. And when you're cutting the movie, like, it was hard to pick favorites because there were so many funny runs. They developed this whole, it didn't make it in the movie, but this whole run about being cam heads, fans of James Cameron.
Oh my God, that was so
Oh, it's not in the
su-
movie?
No, it was super funny. But just so, I mean, there is a ton of improv between you two in the movie.
The Ken stuff.
Yeah.
But he never watches his own films.
I'm hoping he will, though.
You could tell him anything's
I
in
want
there,
you
he
to watch
won't
it
know.
tonight if you would.
Okay.
Jesse, you have to watch it.
Might you watch it?
He's
No,
just
no.
saying,
Yeah,
okay.
just because we're doing this live interview. We'll talk about this later.
Oh, okay.
Good.
Is this live or live to tape?
What were you guys a little jealous that you didn't have doppelgangers, or were you just kind of like happy to sit back and? I know you were not specifically in that part of the movie, but like, were you guys hoping to get doppelgangers, or were you just glad to sit back and kind of watch?
I would love to know who my doppelganger would be if I had a
Yeah, who would be
doppelganger.
mine?
Who would you have
Drew?
hired?
Dream casting right now.
Jen Lawrence?
Oh, yeah, that would be fun.
That'd be
That would be
fun.
really
Yeah.
fun. She would be so funny.
That'd be good.
Was that a?
Who would yours be?
All right, I
Zabs?
guess.
I honestly
Go
don't
right
know.
over mine.
I'm not great at casting. I don't know.
You really
no
aren't
offense
great at
taken
casting.
to,
That is
Be
so.
pretty happy casting Drew Barrymore.
Obviously, it took 10 years to get here for this one, but like, obviously you'll see what the reaction is and stuff like that to this one. But would you guys hope to kind of like every 10 years be back here doing one of these and catching up with these characters?
I think it'd be pretty fun.
Yeah, I think it would be amazing.
How about for you
10
guys?
years hence, you mean, when there's no snow or trees or bees?
Oh,
or...
Woody.
Oh, I'm sorry, I shouldn't.
Do you have to tell
No.
the truth in an interview?
It is a downer. You know what? Let's enjoy the day. And it is nice and sunny and warm, and we don't have to think about global warming or anything.
But in 10 years, even in the midst of global warming, do you think that there could be a chance to do a Zombieland 3 and maybe let people escape that horrific reality for an hour
I
and a
think I have
half?
something
Right.
then.
Go into
have
the
something.
You have something that day?
Yeah, I have something that day. I
I can't remember.
have something like from well, we'll talk about it later. 2 weeks, yeah.
And that might add to the story, like the global warming.
You're
Like
gonna
you bring
need to,
that into
like,
the
flash out.
narrative, it kind of sets the scene. So maybe that's like
Great idea. No.
trying to look at the positives of global warming there. Well, not to end on a bummer of global warming, but thanks so much for taking the time today.
Let's end on a bummer.
Yeah, let's
Thank
end on-
you.
I think global warming, like since the world's ending, like this is a good way to end it. I think.
post-apocalypse.
Yeah,
Yeah.
absolutely. Well, thanks again. Zombieland Double Tap coming to you soon. Appreciate it.
Thank you.
Thank you.